How are you, man? How's it going?
Come on, man. Give me some love. Don't give me how are you, man. This is not how you talk to me in Arabic. Come on.
Yeah,
Hassan!
if we're gonna subtitle it, شلونك يا I didn't say the word. Yeah, just try to be a bit politically correct and respectful for our audience. How are you? How's it going?
Well, if you were a very close friend, if where we both come from, we would be, rude to each other. This is how you would say, right? Then
Yeah,
you would say hello to a very close friend. You would be rude to them. You would insult them. The more you insult them, the closer you are, right?
exactly. I would have done the same, but probably we can take it off air. شلونك حارس? Or we can beep it, please, please. How's it going? So, how's it going in Hong Kong? Are you in Hong Kong at the moment?
Man, I'm on top of my world. Feeling awesome.
Always on the top of your world.
Great as ever. Yeah, happy to be here. What's it like in London? What's it like in I feel like home because the British. This was a colony. Then I came here.
Well, you went from the empire, the mainland, the empire, and you went to one of our colonies. Now you does it feel any different now that you're British?
Wait a second, mate. You are not British. You can't say our colony, all right?
I'm a senior refugee at the moment. I've got indefinite leave to remain, so I reached seniority level. So that's good. But how does it feel? Do you feel like you're treated differently at the airports? Do you feel life is easy? Do you feel life is good? How is it?
Treated differently? Oh, come on, man. I wouldn't change it for the world. When I was in England, I was a refugee, or a lot of people would call me an immigrant, right?
Yeah.
What you would be called, an immigrant. Here in Hong Kong, I'm not an immigrant. Wait for it. I am. I got this prepared.
You have to put the right ones.
An expat.
Expat my ass.
I am an expat in here. I am an expat. Can you believe it? Not only am I an expat, but also I am, one of the, top, this is like social rank to get in here, being an expat. And expat is only for, you would think that, oh, so all immigrants are called expat. I said, no. Only people who have a very strong passport, like American passport, Canadian, British, European passport, and South African passport. So these are called expats. The other people, like from Philippines or Indonesia or Pakistan, they're called immigrants.
I've got a question, tricky question. If you're from South Africa and your skin color is not white, are you still an expat?
I'm not really sure, but I haven't seen a lot of, I don't know, most of the people I've seen called expats here are white, European. So people call me expat. I said, this is an insult. I'm not white.
By the way, what are you cooking, by the way?
I am making a very simple, traditional salad. Some people would call it, this is a Syrian salad. Some people would call it Lebanese. It depends.
No, not only that. Greek people call it Greek, Jordanian people call it Jordanian, Turkish people call it Turkish. So you're cooking a Mediterranean salad.
I'm cooking a Abdul salad. So this is my salad.
Abdul salad. Good. What
are you making?
I'm doing onions with vegan meat, being Western.
Oh, since when, man? Since when? What happened? If I tell my mom I'm cooking vegan meat, she would disown me. What happened to you?
First, she needs to know what is vegan meat. You need to know our parents, people from back home, what is vegan meat, and yeah, it's a new. So just on the way to integration, cooking vegan meat with onion and is it spinach?
That's not integration, man. That's liberal integration.
Why not? What stops you from being liberally integrated refugee? So does it feel like you're not a refugee anymore? You're an expat and you live in a country where people don't care if you're from Syria or not, as long as you've got the red passport or the blue one.
Well, my passport is just great when you're traveling, when you're going through the airport and people see your passports, you don't have any problem. It's great to travel. It's really great. You start to see the world in a very racist way. Like I start looking, I start looking at others like, oh, those people are coming from other places to my country, to England, to the UK. It's awesome to travel on this passport, man. It's you go through the e-gate. Every time we had to come back from Europe or any place where you had to queue and talk to people and explain to the officer where you've been and how long and all these things. With the British passport, when I come back to England, I don't even have to talk to anyone. I just swipe it on the e-gate. The e-gate opens, and then I get a welcome. It says welcome home. That's my remember. I might not pick this up, or maybe this is in my mind, but I feel like welcome home, and it opens up. And that's beautiful.
Indeed, it is. It's only not few. It's only a year for me to get the British passport, and yeah, that's it.
What are you cooking, by the way? Sorry, since when did you cook? Because I don't remember you cooking in Aleppo, right?
I only started cooking after I left Syria, even after I left it in a while actually, because the first time was traumatizing. I started to realize that, oh my God, food doesn't happen by itself unless I actually make it, because in Syria I didn't used to cook at all. So I started to learn, eat outside, just buy stuff, and then I realized it's not efficient, it's not always delicious, and it's not really the most economic way. So I started to learn how to cook. I still am learning. Throughout the past 6 years, I learned to cook 2 or 3 meals, which is a big achievement because I was not programmed. I mean, you're coming from a place where you're not really supposed to cook. It's not something you do. Not nobody would do that. Anyway, unless it's barbecue and you're eating the barbecue from the thing before it's even ready. But yeah,
I thought your mom wanted to find a wife for you to cook for you, right? Am I correct?
You're trying to find a chef, not a wife, in that way.
Not only, but a lot of different. My salad is ready, man. Look, it's beautiful.
What did you put in your salad? Tell me.
Tomato, cool cucumber, some lemon juice, salt, pepper, cumin,
oil,
not oil, olive oil. Olive oil.
Olive oil, yeah. And what was the dibistruman? Şu kan dibistruman?
Molasses? No, I don't have it, man. I don't have it. I'm in here in Hong Kong. I mean, I can find it in some places, but I don't think.
Any cultural shock in the food in Hong Kong? Are you getting any different food than the world? Because of course, Asian food is different. I'm not sure I had food from Hong Kong.
Well, there is a lot of food in Hong Kong. I think I would not even have enough time to try all the cafes around here because there are a lot of cafes and restaurants and a lot of dumplings and stuff. What's in your food? What are you making? You said you were making some mushroom and
no mushroom. Put the onion. I've got 1 onion. I'm going to get back, and I've got this vegan meat. It's not promotional advertisements. And I've got this spinach, which I'm going to boil, and then I'm going to add them all together with salt and pepper.
Wait. Show me the spinach again. Show me the spinach again.
What is it?
The spinach. Show me the spinach again. You call this spinach? Do you call it spinach? Do you remember when you were in Aleppo? When you were in Aleppo and your mom would send you to buy spinach, and you would buy at least 5, 6, 7 kilograms of spinach.
Yeah, that looks. Yeah, I don't know if it's the way it's made or if it's the size, but probably gonna put 5 of those with the and also the cheese. We used to buy cheese with barrels, and now you buy it with a small bags.
Man, in Aleppo we used to buy like 75 kilograms of cheese. And I remember telling my friend here in Hong Kong, I said, yeah, we buy cheese. They asked me about cheese in Syria. I said, yeah, we eat a lot of cheese. I said, how much? What is a lot? We buy like 75 kilograms of cheese. But you mean 75 grams? I said, no, no, no. 75 kilograms of cheese. That's not to mention 20 kilograms of apricot jam, 5 kilograms of cherry jam, 5 kilograms of rose jam.
And flour to make jam in kilos as well. Probably it's because you have people live in big quantities. The family size will probably be bigger than 3 people or 2 people. You need a lot to feed.
Yeah, man, it was completely different. But I love it. I love the cheese that we had. A lot of cheese on demand. You can just open the fridge and get it instead of going to the shop every time. How's it going with the lockdown? So you're in the lockdown. You're pretty much not going anywhere. You're not allowed. How's it going? How are you coping with that?
So they are going to chill it out a bit. Yeah.
What do you? Why does? Man, why does it look like pieces of solid shit?
Yeah. They're trying to chill out the lockdown now, and hopefully by 21st of June we will back to normality.
What is normality?
What is normality? Normality is the world without COVID, where you can go out without being fined, or we can meet with your friends without worrying about killing people indirectly.
When is that? In 13 years?
It feels like forever, man. It's almost 3 years now, and it's not the best. How are you coping? Is there lockdown in Hong Kong?
There's no lockdown. There are some strict measures. Pretty much the restaurants close at 10 o'clock. There are only 4 people allowed on a table, and some of the classes are mixed classes. Like you can go to class. Some classes allow people to come in. Some schools allow people to come in. Some people join through Zoom. And
by the way, speaking of classes and teachings, we have forgotten to introduce ourselves. Maybe Richard can edit that and add it in the beginning. Would you like to start telling the people about yourself in a nutshell? Although that's difficult, but try.
I'm a lecturer now in Hong Kong, and I teach students a lot of different stuff at the university, pretty much academic writing and research skills. And I have my own podcast. So I do podcasting. I hosted you on the podcast, which was an award-winning podcast. And you remember. And I do a little of multimedia. I do a little bit of media here and there. Sometimes, most of the time it's with you because I love talking to you and you're one of my best friends and partners. And that's pretty much it. And of course, I'm an inspiring figure to a lot of people. And motivational speaker.
Life coach.
Life coach, motivational speaker, YouTuber, and Instagram model, and TikTok producer.
Influencer. You know, you mastered life, and now you're coaching people on it. It's a life coach.
Yeah, man, it's ridiculous when those titles of a life coach. What does a life coach do? If they know how to figure out life, why are they still a life coach? Is that how they make money, by making other people miserable? Anyway, what about you?
So, I'm Baraa Khuja. I'm Baraa Khuja, and first to start off with, I'm a refugee in the UK. No, I'm joking. I'm Baraa Khuja. I came from Syria to the UK in 2014 to do my master's at Exeter University, and after that I started to work with refugees and internally displaced people. Started a charity, and after that After 3 years of charity work, I moved into tech industry because that's where I should have been 5 years ago. It took me a while, but catching up. And yeah, at the moment, I just try to raise awareness wherever I can and do work. That's in a nutshell.
So you joined the tech industry to make money.
Fun. The tech industry is very fun. It's extremely fun. I mean, it's the best way for my career. I don't think I can spend my life doing charity work, although I'd love to, but it's not necessarily something that is doable.
Sustainable. All right. My question to you, because you started introducing yourself as a refugee, and in less than a year, actually, you are going to be a British national. And I will write a letter of recommendation to the Queen to allow you to make me one of us. Because you need a reference from a British person that you're a good character, by the way. And I am British, right?
Are you British enough? That's a question.
I am British. Well, I am bold, so that qualifies me to be British.
You don't have the accent yet, mate.
I don't, but I have the passport to prove it. And I am bold. Again, that's enough. So you're going to be a citizen in less than a year. Are you going to introduce yourself as a refugee still?
I haven't thought about that actually. It makes perfect sense. I think I will not necessarily. It's not something that you are proud to be a refugee or ashamed of. It's a status. And for me, it's this status of my life. I tried to hide it initially because I didn't want to have any problems or difficulties with whatever. And then after that, I realized that, wait a minute, I'm a refugee. It's a status. I wasn't trying to hide it because of it's shameful. It's just a status of mind, of life, not of mind.
It's not a status of mind, right? Not a state of mind.
Yeah, and then when I'm not a refugee anymore, I won't, but I wouldn't be having any problems identifying or expressing that I come from a refugee background. It's not really something that I'd like to hide or brag about. It's just if it comes in the context, yeah, why not? If it doesn't, then I'm a British citizen in your face.
Right. Do you know the joke that how do you know the vegan in the room?
How? They say, hi, I'm vegan.
They tell you, right? And is that the same thing?
Yeah.
Context, if it comes into context, you would say you're a refugee. So again, when you become British citizen, do you think you're going to be a refugee? You're going to still be a refugee? For me, because this is something I think about sometimes, not all the time, sometimes. Like, is it once a refugee, always a refugee? Because you still cannot go back to Syria. You still cannot go back to your country. Your country, the other country, Syria. So UK is one of your countries. So you have maybe two homes at least. One of them is Syria, one of them the UK. So are you still a refugee? Or are you a British citizen with refugee?
I think it's most likely what you said. Once a refugee, always a refugee. Because no matter how British you feel, you're still not British. You've never lived here. You've never grew up here. You've never had. I mean, yes, you lived here for 5 years. You try to integrate. You find a job. You pay your taxes. You become law-abiding citizen and this really kind and respectful person. So you're still not able to live and identify as British. And at the same time, you're not Syrian because you left your country and you can't go back there. And maybe he's just a refugee. He says now it becomes a state of mind.
It's a state of mind. Once you have it, you can't get rid of it, man. Once you're a refugee or a state of it is a state of mind. You cannot get rid of it. You cannot go back to your country. And even when you were in England, like imagine if you were going to leave England right in this evening, right? Imagine you're going to leave England tonight, right? And there's no COVID. And you're going to have this farewell party. How many people will come to your farewell party?
Probably 20, 30 max.
Okay, maximum. When you were in Aleppo and you wanted to have a farewell party, how many would not come.
30. Yeah. We cannot. I don't think we can compare lifetime experiences. Like 26 years of making friendships, memories, meeting people, with 5 years experience where you don't speak the language initially as good as you should be. You don't know the culture correctly. You find it difficult, challenging. So outside your comfort zone. So I think it's an invalid comparison, but it is I thought-provoking and eye-opening.
Are you doing anything, or are you just pretending to be cooking? Because you're just doing this, like half-hearted, just moving your hands.
It's almost ready. I'm proud of my dish. It's almost ready.
Oh man, I hate this electric one. I hate it. I have real fire here.
Why is your kitchen so small? Speaking of kitchens and fires.
This is a huge kitchen in Hong Kong standards. This is really big kitchen. Pretty much everything here is so small. I feel like I'm living in a shoebox instead of a flat. Believe it or not, it's more expensive than London. Like living in London. Living here is very, very, very expensive. But I can't complain. I mean, I can complain. I don't like saying I can't complain. Yes, you can complain. You can always complain.
You're the person who can complain because you're a refugee. You have a green card of complaining anytime you want. You can pull the refugee card anytime.
Yeah, you have a right to complain. But the weather is nice. I got a job. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm enjoying my life here. So it's the price you pay for, I think having a job and living a nice life.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree on the point that you can complain. I think, it's not always great, but let's try to end on a high because I'm going to have to go soon to my work and don't talk about complaint. Talk about, I have a very good picture that will end on a high. Look at this beauty. Speaking of cooking.
Is this Magdous?
This is Magdous. Habib al-Malayin.
You didn't make it yourself, did you?
Of course I did not. I bought it homemade from a shop in Shepherd Bush. It's really nice. Huh?
Is it the shop I hate?
No, it's not the shop you hate. It's not Ayam Zaman. Yeah, well, if you come back to London, we'll definitely take you to try this one.
It is my country. It is my country. You are in my country. You're a guest.
If you come back to my country, you're more than welcome. You're Hong Kongian now. Hong Kongian. Is that the word? Okay, so I will put my plate in a bit.
I'm off to eat this beauty because it's waiting for me and it's eyeing me and I cannot resist it. It's consensual. I have the consent to eat it.
And I'm going to eat this beauty in a bit. And it's worth mentioning that this video we've done to raise awareness about refugee crisis with Bermondsey refugee, welcome refugees. They're trying to help bring your family from the refugee camps where people are most vulnerable, trying to make their lives here in the UK, and such a good cause and nice people. I know personally the founder and a few people from the organization. So if people wanted to help and support Bermondsey welcomes refugees, that would be great. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it. And thank you, Abdulwahab. Thank you, Baraa. Thank you, Richard.
You're thanking yourself.
Of course, why not? Self-love, self-love, life coaching, self-love. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to dash off quickly because I've got to go back to work. It was fun and seeing you, and Abdulwahab will speak later.
Bye-bye.